dubbing gets a bad rep, but
I agree.
dubbing gets a bad rep. I mean, it's very easy to do bad.
Yes.
I guarantee you, we would do it terrible if we were told to dub a Japanese movie. But when
that's why I give so much credit to like English dubs of like anime and such, because it's a very different process than just voice acting normally for like an American cartoon, because there you record your voice and they animate for you. This you have to match their lip movements. And so a lot of times they have to change the dialogue so it flows better. And very like early 80s anime didn't do that. So they just kind of rushed through sentences and it was awkward as fuck.
Yeah, that's when you get shit like Speed Racer or like what's it called? Kimbo the White Lion. Even Kimbo the White Lion did that.
Yeah. Oh, Kimbo the White Lion was like infamous for that shit.
Well, there was one company in particular that dubbed Japanese movies in the early days that I loved, and that was Titan-Tetra Productions. They were actually based in New York City. And they dubbed a lot of the old Godzilla, old Japanese movies, and I personally think that they did a fantastic job dubbing those movies. But they were cases where they would change the dialogue ever so slightly to fit the lip movement a little bit better. And one thing that they would do was they would start the American versions would like snip a couple of frames here and there, or rearrange a shot here, so that way the dialogue, if it really couldn't match the lips at all, they would have like a reaction shot to cut to, or they could cut away quicker,
right,
and stuff like that. And you saw that a lot in like early 50s, in like the late 50s, early 60s movies. But you see, what Toho started doing, especially in like the 1964 onwards, is they started catching on to the fact that, hey, Western audiences love these fucking movies. So that's when they started actually teaming up with people like Henry G. Saperstein over here in the United States. And so a lot of those edits didn't have to happen because all of a sudden now an American producer was involved, or they actually started commissioning their own dubs of the movie.
Oh, wow.
And they were terrible. They were fucking terrible. And, American producers would take a look at that dub, ready to go, and say, no, thank you. And they would do their own dub. And that's what I've always found fascinating about that at all. The other company that I like to give a shout out to who did a great job of dubbing early 60s movies was Glenn Studio in California. They did the dubs for War of the Gargantuas and Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. And I thought those dubs were fantastic, if not better than the original Japanese audio, because they're just so full of character. But I just thought those are great. I just wanted to mention those.